sorry, no one believes you anymore. And actually, in the face of the rapidly deteriorating situation, these comments look ridiculous. In Spain, mass unemployment gathers by the day, and internal democracy in Spain is now under threat. In Italy, where we were told Mr Monti would sort it all out, growth figures are falling and the bond spreads are worsening. And now an IMF official has come out and said that it is obvious that at some point a euro breakup will happen. These are big changes. The euro is doomed. And your policies, sir, even if Greece accepts the austerity you're putting upon them, even if for the next 8 years they obey all of this, they will still in 2020 have a debt GDP ratio of 120%, which makes one ask, what is the point? And in Spain, if Spain was able to increase, the difference is, sir, Britain is not trapped inside the economic prison of the euro. Now take this, if Spain was to increase, if she increased her productivity growth by 0.5% a year, which at the moment looks unlikely, if Spain did that, it would take her 40 years to close the competitiveness gap with Germany. These countries were sucked in to a totally false economic boom with artificially low interest rates, and they are now paying the price. These policies cannot succeed. Mercifully, outside of this institution, economists the world over now say it is inevitable that the euro will break up. It is just a question of how, and I really hope that the IMF now decide to stop pouring good money after bad into these bailouts.
But we all know Greece is going to default again. We know they're eventually going to leave the euro. The question becomes Spain. Spain is too big to save. Spain is too big to fail. And if they're going to keep the euro together, they've got to figure out how to solve their Spanish problem. Spain cannot it's just not going to happen. They're not going to make their projected deficits. They've got 23% unemployment.
They have no growth.
No growth.
Which institutions will bail that out, and will it be U.S. taxpayers or Brazilian taxpayers through an increased contribution to the IMF?
I don't think U.S. taxpayers and U.S. congressmen are going to let us contribute to the IMF to bail out Europe. The U.S. shouldn't be bailing out Europe. They've got their own money. They made their own mistakes by putting the euro together to begin with. We shouldn't bail out their mistakes.
Who's going to bail out Spain? It's bigger.
It has to be ECB, or it won't happen at all.
How many trillion? Another trillion?
1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, just keep counting. They are going to kick the ball down the road as far as they can until it comes to the end. What we're seeing right now is a repackaging of European debt. Spain has financed 40% of its debt for the year in the last 2 months. 95% of that has gone to Spanish banks. Same thing with Italian debt. We're seeing the various government debts go into their local...
Cram down to the local banks.
And we're separating the silos. So it's going off the books of the Germans and the French and other peripheral other banks and going into the particular country banks.
This area was poor even before the crisis with high unemployment. So the people here, they had problems before. But now I think they have a difficulty to survive. We have a gap between the very poor and the rest of the society that start to getting permanent. And that will be here for a lot of years, and these people need years and years just to recover and come in the poverty line.
According to the organisation, most locals live on less than €200 a month. Many of them have neither the insurance nor the money to pay for doctors or medicine. The clinic has also become overwhelmed with the need to vaccinate Greek children, something they say they've only encountered before in third world countries.
We tell a lot of people that come here, your child needs to go to the hospital. We can't treat the problem here. And they tell us, I don't have the €1.40, I need to take the bus and go to the hospital. There are some families that have not had electricity for 5-8 months, who spend the winter burning pieces of wood to keep warm, whose children eat from the garbage.
36-year-old Spiridula Therlami used to have a part-time job, but lost it. Her husband, a plumber, hasn't been able to find work for the last 3 years. Now they have a newborn baby boy to care for. Spiridula says she depends on welfare, charities and the church for food and medicine for her family.
I feel disappointed in the government. They all tell lies. Now they say they will cut the family allowance benefits for those that have 3 children. So what's the point in having kids if they're going to starve?
The French don't care about the Greeks unless the debt is on French banks.
And it's becoming less so right now.
And it's becoming less so. Well, that's... We know now that Greece is gone because they've worked that problem.